3, 2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Delusions of Grandeur. I am your host, David Strege, and we are here to celebrate the Christmas spirit with a classic TV special that was filmed. Let's see. It was filmed in 1978, and it was put live onto TV, I believe, on the NBC, or was it the ABC network? Does anyone remember that?
It was CBS.
CBS network, and it was directed by Steve Binder and David Akamba at the time. And let me just tell you and the folks out there what IMDb says about the film or the special, and then we'll go into first impressions. So we have Chewbacca and Han Solo are trying to get to the Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyyk to celebrate Life Day, but are impeded by an Imperial blockade. Chewie's family passes the time with various forms of entertainment. So, going into first impressions, and I'm going to go with you, Boris, first. Was this a first time watch for you?
The first time and so far the only time was a week ago when I originally thought we were going to be discussing this movie. Then it got postponed for this week. I was going to rewatch it, but some medical emergency occurred since, as you may know, I have been battling COVID recently. So unfortunately, I didn't have the time to rewatch it. So I would like to apologize to everyone in advance
no worries,
if there are any details I don't remember well enough. But my first impressions
So what was worse?
last.
What was worse, COVID or the holiday special?
Well, COVID was worse.
It might have been close.
Well, I must say I am glad I watched this movie just so I can say there isn't one of the old Star Wars classics that I never watched, but yeah, I must admit it's not very much like other Star Wars movies. I
No.
have heard I have heard people say it was bad and so on, and I thought people just must be too picky. It can't really be as bad as they say.
No, dude, I absolutely love Star Wars and love everything about Star Wars, and there's a special place in my heart for this. But yeah, it just wasn't that great.
Yeah, well, don't get me wrong. I don't mean any offense to anyone who might actually like this movie, but I must say, although I wouldn't even mind all the goofy stuff, everything you don't normally see in the regular Star Wars movies, but I did miss the action we get in other Star Wars movies, the suspense, the plot moving on the way we usually see in Star Wars. In this one, we had a bit too much goofy stuff that doesn't really move the plot forward, and not enough of the actual plot. That would be my main issue with this movie. But like I said, it was still in a way interesting to see it, and I did hear about it quite a while ago, but I never actually got to watch it until recently, thanks to you guys. So, in spite of everything, I'm glad I saw it after all.
Oh, very cool. I mean, it is an interesting and unique thing. I didn't myself hear about it until a couple of years back to myself, but I'll get into my views once everyone has had their say. So, Tammy, was this a first time watch for you?
No, actually, you and I watched it once before. Um,
Oh, so I subjected it to you like when I was preparing to see it with the group, didn't I? Last year, I
yes.
think.
And then now I
Cool.
have my own copy. Yes.
Poor Tammy.
So, what were your thoughts on this particular Star Wars special?
It was all right, I guess. I mean, the copy we have to watch, you couldn't really understand the dialogue between mom and baby, and all that stuff, because it didn't have the subtitles, so you kind of like had to go, okay,
Well, actually,
okay.
whenever it came to a Wookiee speaking, especially when it came to Chewbacca, you never saw subtitles when he spoke. So,
Well, you would have
Ye-
there would have been subtitles originally, since there was a lot of the Wookiees talking.
There
oh,
wasn't. There was
wait,
not.
wait,
No,
are you
only the ones
saying
at work.
No.
are you saying there is a version of the holiday special that
no,
There isn't.
there
There
isn't.
isn't. I
Oh,
watched
there
it.
isn't?
I watched the
Okay.
original episode over again. That's the version I saw. So, yeah, there
So
was no subtitles.
in that way, I was a little disappointed. I mean, you get the kind of the gist, but it's kind of like,
You wish that you would be able to see.
I was thinking the same. I don't like subtitles, but I was thinking the same thing, that subtitles would have been okay here, because I mean, Chewbacca, you kind of get to understand a little bit, but it's like there's like a whole family of them now. It's like crap.
yeah.
Trying to figure out three Wookiees trying what they're saying.
I like the son the best though. He's so cute.
ah
We
yeah, yeah, he
can
was
have the
cute.
little one, okay?
Alrighty, heading over to Mo. Why don't you tell us? Was this a first time watch for you?
Oh no, I've seen this several times over the years. It was always kind of that like mythical thing that was out there, you know. It wasn't as easy to get a hold of
unicorn.
till, yeah, kind of. It's, for a long time it was just talked about, and then it like ended up on YouTube, and then you started seeing people make like, burn to order Blu-rays of it. I think like you can get it physically now, which is neat. I haven't gone about doing that. I probably will someday just to have it in the collection, but I kind of like it, man. I mean, it's a charming little
I
turd.
have one for sale, $50. No.
Yeah, it's got its fun elements to it. I think it gets a majority of its flack because it's part of Star Wars. When you compare this to other TV holiday specials from back in the day, it's not too crazy a dip in quality compared to any of them,
Well, yeah, it's kind of like
because it's Star Wars.
it's kind of like that He-Man She-Ra Christmas special that that you can get on those sets these days.
Yeah, they were always all kind of butt, and they were designed to just remind you to buy action figures for your kids for the season, like I think that's really the intent of this, was to...
I think I like the He-Man one better, but again, that was because
for sure.
you hold Star Wars in a higher, higher standard.
Yeah,
automatically.
Well, and it's also important to note that back then, I think we only had the first movie, right? At that point.
Yes.
So Star
Oh,
Wars was still pretty
oh.
new. They were just trying to keep it in people's consciousness, until they were able to put out another movie and all that.
Wait, now you got me curious about something. Actually, I did wonder about it before, but if before this movie we only had the first one, then
Yeah.
how come Boba Fett appears
This
in
this
this
is
one when
this,
he...
this, this is the very first appearance of Boba Fett. They decided they wanted to show Boba Fett, and so this is actually the very first appearance of him in this special.
So,
I had forgotten that. I was very young, and I saw a special on why people like Boba Fett, basically, and this was brought up that the first time you see him is actually in the holiday special before Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
So the character of Boba Fett was actually made up for this movie originally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Boba Fett's a
Wow.
great example of a character that was created almost exclusively to sell action figures. Because Lucas already had the deal with Kenner Toys at the time that this came out. Like they did the whole thing after the first Star Wars movie where like you could buy the cardboard thing and then redeem it for the toys or whatever later on. Like a certificate came with like this little cardboard display stand.
Yeah, I
And
remember
Boba
that.
Fett, when you look at the proportions of those Kenner figures, like they were tailor made to make the Boba Fett figure, because he didn't really get much screen time or backstory till years later,
Actually, only in the books.
Yeah.
If we hopefully end up doing another Star Wars discussion at some point, I would like to show a Star Wars chess set that I own. It's just not right here at hand. I will have to find it, but I have an old Star Wars chess set and one of the figures.
Is it a holograph?
Unfortunately,
like Chewie
not.
and R2 played. I played.
Does it come with a Wookiee that'll rip your arms off if you beat him?
I always wanted that chess set, man. They gotta have a game that has that somewhere.
Yeah, they got it for Sega CD. Yeah. They did the Star Wars chess. It's pretty dope.
I knew it had to be somewhere. I don't know. I was a Sega kid, so.
I like the special. It's fun. Boba Fett part's definitely my favorite part. The whole animation and the art by Mobius. I was a big fan of that dude because of Heavy Metal magazine. So seeing Star Wars and that art style is kind of a dream come true. So that section alone, I think, should earn this special more praise than it probably gets. But it's one that I try to, come back to every so often. I don't watch it every year or anything because I'm not a glutton for punishment, but.
You're more punishment than the rest of us are.
Yeah, and even I won't fuck with it every year,
Well, I figured since Mo, I wasn't sure if you were on the holiday special episode on Inside Movies Galore last year or not.
Oh yeah. Okay. I remember us talking about old Itchy and his VR porn.
Okay, well, Krull, you and Boris were not on that, so I figured since we do a lot of things that the other group doesn't, I figured we'd go on about it since Krull, I know you like Star Wars and it is the Christmas. I know you love the Star Wars franchise, and I figured it's the holiday season. Why the fuck not? So, but in any case, was this a first time watch for you? I know that's a stupid question.
Yeah, I saw this on CBS when it came out. I was 5.
Do you feel old?
Fuck you.
Sorry.
I feel like Chewie's dad. Which,
I agree with you, Carl, because we're about the same age. So tell David what about.
Incidentally, the father is probably my favorite character. And it, he was just like kids trying to bug him. He's just like, go away. I'm trying to fix this ship, and he just, I don't know. I just kind of like the old man.
Uh, you, you, you know what I think is the biggest blasphemy about this movie?
What's that?
That it has so much stuff that's not much like Star Wars, yet it doesn't have one single scene with lightsabers. That's
Right.
unforgivable.
Right. I know. I was like, I was thinking the same thing when I watched it originally. Because I mean, I was so excited to see Luke and R2, and I'm just like, okay, where's the lightsaber?
But we did get,
Right.
and I'm sure we'll talk about this more later, but we did get a rare scene of Carrie Fisher singing. So I thought that was actually pretty cool.
Oh, well,
And,
yeah, true. Good point.
Now, I was actually going to bring up when I talked about Boba Fett, but you had already asked that question, so we answered that. But I just want to mention that the Boba Fett, the cartoon, is probably the best part of this show as well, because it gave you a good story. It was a little bit of action. Makes you think that Boba Fett was good at first, and then you find out he was working for Darth Vader the whole time, and it was a good little episode that had a full conclusion, and it's definitely a cartoon that I probably would have loved to have watched when I was a kid. They had more of it, so it was definitely neat. It was cool how he was watching it. Chewie's son was watching the show, while the Imperials were in his house, basically looking for anything to incriminate them. So I thought that was really neat, and it was fun. So I definitely agree that the cartoon definitely elevates the show a little bit.
Okay.
It's that
Very
kind of
cool.
thing you almost wish that it was like just all animated.
Right. It would have been way better. It would have been way better.
Now, I did not hear about this until Brandon had actually brought this up like over a year ago, and I didn't even know about it. So when it came around Christmas time last year, that was about the first time that I had actually seen this, and everybody kept telling me it was a bad thing, but they also told me it was a cult movie that like
Yep.
everyone needed to see, even though it was so bad. So
Yeah.
so
I agree.
I was at least interested in seeing it, and okay, yeah, it was bad, but I found it had some charm.
It does. It does definitely have some charm.
And it does carry some of that Star Wars nostalgia a little bit. I mean, you don't get that many like stories of I mean, you got to think about it this way. The first film was out at like probably the previous year, and they probably had gone through so much with the first movie. They wanted to keep it still prevalent and in people's like minds, so that they could prepare people for the sequel, especially since they had so much to bring back. And so see, the first film was so hard to top, some people love the first film and dislike the second one, whereas some people love the second one, and even the third one even more than that. So
I loved them all, but as a kid, not like Empire Strikes Back, because as a kid, I didn't like the bad guys winning, and that's how Empire Strikes Back felt. But yeah, I don't think anyone could ever forget Empire Strikes Back. Like you said, they kept it fresh in people's mind. But Empire Strikes Back, you didn't need to, the whole reveal was enough for everyone to remember.
Oh, right. But I
Star
mean,
Wars.
like, it's important to note too that, like, 78, 79, whenever this came out, that was pre home video boom. So not everybody had a copy of Star Wars to just go watch, unless you could go see it in the theater multiple times.
I remember
Everyone was like thirsty for more Star Wars. So this was a good way to just, like you said, keep it in people's minds and get them to buy more toys while they waited for Empire,
And I thought it was kind of cool that they were able to get the people that they were able to get. I mean, you got Harvey Korman, who is from the Carol Burnett show.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he had several roles in here. He played on the cooking show. He showed up in B. Arthur's a bar that she had that she sang her song in, and I have to say, someone who was directing this had to have been on either shrooms or acid or something, because there were at least that one lady that sang first. What did I say her name was? Deborah.
Something Carol.
Yeah. She her video there, that was so acidic. It was like
She was a pretty
trippy.
lady. It was she was like, "Come be with me. Come be with me." You know, it's just like,
Oh, that
it was,
one.
it was,
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it was for the 70s and TV. It was almost pornographic,
And-
It
and
was just like,
Didn't we also get something like Cirque du Soleil in Star
Yes.
Wars or something like
Yeah,
that? That was
keep-
weird
to
too.
keep Lumpy busy?
Yeah.
That was definitely
I'm
interesting. I'll say interesting.
I'm sorry, Dave. What did you say? Something like what?
Cirque du Soleil.
I'm sorry, I don't understand that word.
It's the circus.
It's
circus.
basically
There were a bunch of acrobats and stuff like that when they were doing
basically
all
it's something
juggling
that's Cirque du Soleil has been something that's been around for like years, believe it or not, and oftentimes it's circus stuff dealing with acrobats and aerial acts and
jugglers,
dancing and jugglers, except
Oh yeah.
so
Oh yeah. No, I know what you mean. I just never knew how. I had seen that thing being mentioned, but I never knew how exactly to pronounce it. Now when I saw it spelled on Google, now I know what you mean.
yeah, it's called Cirque du Soleil, and it's French. I know that, but
you think?
But regardless, there have been so many Cirque du Soleil specials. I mean, they did one for the Beatles of all things, So
Did they?
yeah, they did.
I missed
But
it.
I think it was live, but I don't think they ever put it out on anything. It's not on the box set that they have out.
I'm sure it's gonna be online somewhere.
But in any case, so let's get into this a little bit more. So we have Han Solo and Chewbacca who are trying to escape from the enemy and try to go to the home planet in which Chewbacca and his family live, and it's in this tree hut like way up in the sky. And it looks actually pretty cool, it really does. It looks like a big wigwam, on stilts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we get a couple of characters here. Like we get this older guy who I believe he's played by Peter Mayhew or
Chewbacca.
No, there's a dude that sells stuff to the Empire, and he's a friend.
That's our Kearney.
Yeah, that's Art Carney. So we get this moment where he's trying to sell these stormtroopers and some stuff, and they just take whatever they want.
It was just one guy, and he actually wasn't a stormtrooper. He was a officer.
Yeah. In fact, I don't think you. Oh yeah, you do get to see a couple of stormtroopers, but
yeah,
but you don't.
And they're pointing their guns.
Yeah.
And they know they're gonna miss anyways.
Yeah, you don't got to worry about them point those guns at anything.
But anyway, they're Chewbacca and Han Solo. They're trying to get back for this Life Day. Does anyone want to explain what Life Day is?
It's Wookiee Christmas, basically.
Wookiee's Christmas, yeah.
Really, it's a story about Chewbacca being an absent father and coming home that one last time before he goes out for a pack of smokes and is never seen again, at least by his son.
No, he does come home a few times.
Yeah, but this isn't canon after, so he never sees Lumpy again.
Well, Lumpy isn't really his son in the books, so yeah, this is his wife Marla doesn't exist either. He does have a wife and he does have a son. I'm sure he has a father, but we've never actually read anything about the father.
I like to think he's got that second family,
Yeah.
Like,
See what you dog. I thought you were a Wookiee or a dog.
Oh, are you telling me that Chewbacca's a slut?
Maybe.
He's a slut. He's a slut for that rug.
He's a stud. He's a stud. That's what he is.
He's a slut for that rug.
Dude, those Wookiee girls have 6 nipples. How could you help yourself?
Right? I'd be a slut too.
So Tammy, your next husband is going to be a Wookiee. What would you do?
Not much difference.
Oh!
Ouch, Dave!
Oh, burn!
Okay. I have
Dave is furry. Dave makes lots of noises. Doesn't talk a whole lot. So, I mean, what's the difference?
That's the best burn I've ever heard.
Anyways.
Oh my god.
I don't care.
Man,
that's okay.
I think she's saying you need to
I'll
shave,
send
dude.
Boba Fett after you later.
I think she's saying you need to shave.
Ha ha ha.
Fortunate for him, I like furry.
Boy, am I in trouble. Anyways. Let's move on here now. So ultimately, even though I'm the butt of the joke,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
A Wookiee
I'm
butt.
trying to get serious now.
Trying to. Oh my god, that was so funny.
Quit trying to make Wookiee with me. Anyways.
You ran right into that one, dude. I mean, you hooked my finger. You opened her up and she had it. Oh man.
Anyways, so we have them trying to escape from Imperial cruisers, and then of course down on the planet you've got Art Carney, who is playing
A junk dealer.
Basically, and he's kind of like your antiques tinker type dude who sells both to the Rebel Alliance as well as the Empire, and he's a friend of all, so he ultimately.
He's not really a friend of the Empire. He just has to be friends.
Well, yeah, but he ends up showing up at the home of Chewbacca, and while he is doing that, Chewbacca's wife is cooking the holiday dinner.
Don't forget about the phone call.
That's right, the phone call.
Yeah, I love that. I do love that phone call because it was really cool how he told her in code that Chewie is on the way, but he's a little bit late. Like the way he was saying, he did it by hand. He could say solo, and it's just you could tell it was all code for Chewie in hand, but the way they did it was really cool. It was really cool. I really liked that.
Oh yeah, there were a couple of
that was definitely very intelligent.
There were definitely a couple of phone calls. One of them was from Luke when he had the R2 unit, which I wish that they could have had R2 scream at least once.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing. Did you notice that they said R2 is played by R2? Like, okay, so did they just make a droid? And I mean, like, what do you mean? Wasn't Kenny Baker? I mean, it really didn't feel like it was because I couldn't really tell what he was saying. Like when Kenny Baker does it, you can actually tell what the hell he's saying. So, and it's not R2.
I think that Ken Baker wasn't in R2, and I think that they were just using pre-recorded R2 sounds.
Yeah, well, they didn't do it right because I mean, especially with the thing on fire, you'd think he would have yelled. I mean, that was a perfect opportunity for him to yell, and especially because people weren't paying attention.
We also got
on the inside part of the special.
We also got a video call from Leia. And I believe she was she with anyone at that point?
No.
Anyone else?
No, it's just her.
Okay, so she was calling
to talk to either her brother, who she didn't know was a brother yet, or her future husband.
We got to talk about how I don't know if Mark Hamill was just on a ton of cocaine or something, but he looks like not even real. He looks like he's like a living mannequin.
Believe it or not, during the filming of Star Wars, Mark Hamill was in a really bad car accident.
Yeah, not yet though. He hadn't yet though.
He got in one, and a stunt double of his showed up in many of his scenes.
Well, you could really tell in Return of the Jedi, he looks like he's 20 years older.
Yeah.
In Return of the Jedi.
Rough.
That's why when I don't know.
That's why he had a ton of makeup on for this holiday special.
I won't say what I was going to say because it could probably be a spoiler for Mandalorian, so I won't say it. But yeah.
Well, in any case, basically, I think the car crash had recently happened, and in fact, that's why he couldn't even be there in person.
I thought it happened during Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I think it did because that's why they have the whole Yeti thing attack him because to make
he just might have been on some drugs, I mean,
I think he was, dude. It feels like there's some cocaine involved.
I definitely agree. I'm like, wow, he looks young, but I was also saying, yeah,
he's kind of scary looking.
Off. He seemed a little off. He was kind of
there's something unsettling about it,
Yeah, he definitely. Yeah, he looked more like. He was more like the Joker.
It did work for his character, and I think it also worked out more for his Joker character eventually. Because maybe it brought out some of the evil, that he was able to portray. But in any case, we get both of those phone calls, and then we get the officers that show up at the home. But before we even do that, let's talk about the Cirque du Soleil, that trippy little thing, and the Jefferson Starship stuff that's going on here.
Actually, after the Imperial officer the stormtrooper was watching that.
Yeah,
probably.
But let's talk about I don't know why, but I kind of like this whole cooking show thing with Mala. Dude just starts pulling out all these other arms, and she's like, "What the fuck?"
Like 6 arms, and I'm just like, okay. Wookiees don't have 6 arms, and most people don't have 6 arms, so it's like
chop, stir, whisk,
beat, smack, whip. He's like going. I should say he is going on. It's really a guy in drag, but it's just it's funny. It's definitely funny. to watch, and definitely they made him like kind of a more of a Star Wars character because he had more arms and stuff. So it was like he was a
Well,
alien from
yeah, it
another
was kind
planet
of
and
like
stuff. So
watching one
This
of
is
those.
why I don't watch cooking shows.
if I was gonna watch one, I'd rather watch one like that. It's the least entertaining.
Hey, I mean, if you think about it, and Back to the Future too, when you got Michael Jackson and this Chinese dudes like arguing back and forth between each other in their cooking shows. If you want beef or pork, you know. I mean, you got that or this. And honestly, I wouldn't mind watching a comical version of a cooking show.
Yeah.
And you should watch Three's Company. They at least had some good ones.
Oh, that was a great show.
But
Jack was a great cook.
but in any case, we get that six arm thing going on, and then the officers show up, and then they ransack the place. Well, actually, before that, the junker Art Carney shows up with some presents for everyone, and I think he has stuff for Mala. He has what is it? A radio for our little guy, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
we think so.
It's a transmitter. We find out later.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Oh yeah, because he has to put it together so he can understand humans or basic talk and other talks and stuff, all languages.
Yep. So, what do you think about the Chewbacca family as characters?
Sometimes little fucking lumpy. I just want him to fall off that railing out there, you know.
Right? I agree. He was. I don't know. I found him kind of annoying. Like I don't know. He wouldn't listen when his grandfather was telling him stuff, and he wouldn't listen when his mother was telling him to come take out the trash, and he wouldn't listen when like he just wouldn't listen to anything. Like he was
What do you expect, people?
He was a little brat.
Well, some bitch about to get left home alone when they go on vacation.
Right? Right? Home Alone and Kishik.
Imagine the Home Alone movie with him.
Imagine if he wasn't the only sibling and he had had like sisters or something
He
like
does
that.
have. He actually in the books. He does have a sister. Well, again, it's not lumpy, but there is a boy and a girl. So, yeah, Chewie has two.
Okay. Well, that's at least cool. But here we only see the one, and he's lumpy. And then, so what do we think about what do we think about Itchy?
I love Itchy. Itchy was badass.
Yeah, he's fun. He looks cool too.
He just seemed cool, and he was like the old granddad that was tinkering with his own thing, and it was definitely.
See, I thought they could have at least gave him a better name than Itchy.
I agree. I mean, lumpy and Itchy.
Yeah.
At least
And that kind of sounds like when you're talking about The Simpsons with the Itchy and Scratchy show,
Yeah. it definitely, like Marla has a real name. Like that was cool to have her name Marla.
Oh yeah, I thought that was a beautiful name for Wookiee.
It doesn't sound Wookiee, but at least, but neither is Itchy or Lumpy. And Itchy
I actually
Lumpy
kind of wondered if that was a male underneath that Wookiee costume, though.
We want to see what's under the rug.
Yeah, the walking carpet.
Yeah.
As Princess Leia.
Does the coffee match the drapes?
Yeah, exactly, right? But well, you kind of have to wonder because that she did kiss Han when he eventually came in. So But
I have a feeling Han has kissed several Wookiees over the years.
oh, so that's why he has some whiskers
Well, I
when you see
mean,
him in the animated.
he did know Wookiee when he met Chewie, so
That's why he had a 5 o'clock shadow in the animation.
I mean, Wookiee is the language of love, as they say. So.
Well, in any case, so what do we think about these
Wookiee
imperial
love.
officers who have come to look for the rebels or look for Chewbacca, evidently?
Typical, idiotic imperial officers with even dumber stormtroopers.
Yeah, but I kind of felt bad for Lumpy when
Oh,
they
yeah.
went up and like literally tore his like whole loft apart.
Oh, he was mad. He was
Oh,
like,
it did.
he was ready to fight them. It was like,
What
he's like, let me
what
at him.
what was it that he had up there? That was it a sand creature that he had up there on his bed that he put together underneath that blanket? I was trying to think what it was.
It was some sort of a stuffed animal, and they ripped its head off.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then that was so sad because he tried to put it back together and then put it under the blanket like he was putting it to bed. That was sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like ripped his fucking thing apart for like no reason. It's like, yeah, that which is imperial bullshit. You know, they would do something like that. You know, because they didn't care about people's lives, and especially didn't care about Wookiees.
So, what did we think about the different segments that they brought to the table? I mean, they had the Cirque du Soleil like the stuff. They had the the one Diane Carroll lady. I think she was a soul singer from probably the late '60s, early '70s.
It's all pretty rad. I mean, it goes together nicely to give it that kind of a variety show feel. You've got like a good mix of musical stuff and performance art, and it's all kind of knitted together with that sitcom style wraparound, but in the Star Wars universe. And it as a little variety show holiday special, it works pretty well, And the way that the animated one is like plugged in there, so like even little kids might have started to get bored part of the way through because there's plenty of stuff in here that's obviously aimed at also entertaining the parents, right?
Right.
So it's they plug in that animated thing at the right time, so to kind of get the kids hyped again. I like that they include people from other pop culture stuff.
Hey Mo,
So
why don't you tell us, or maybe give a little bit of a rundown of what that animated section was all about?
Well, you got the art by Mobius, which is pretty fucking awesome. Honestly, I always get kind of just lost in looking at how awesome it is that I'm not certain what the actual plot of it is.
Oh, I can tell you the plot. Basically, Boba Fett has come up with a plan and Darth Vader has come up with a plan to get in good with the rebels by saving Luke and then saving Han and Chewie and
and what's interesting
so you can
is
go find the rebel, go back to the rebel base, and they can know where it is.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And what's interesting is that Boba Fett like sets himself up as like the savior to Luke
Right.
at first, and
right.
then they find out that Darth Vader was behind the whole thing, and but the way that you meet Boba Fett first reminds me of like the many times you've seen He-Man go on top of a. It reminded me so much of He-Man and Beastmaster stuff,
Yeah, for sure.
So I could see that Boba Fett's entrance was at least the first time we see him is shall I say borrowed?
Yeah, there's definitely like inspirations from other stuff in there. And it looks glorious. That Mobius art style is iconic. I mean, if you think back to when this came out in the 70s, Heavy Metal Magazine was still a big deal. So a lot of sci-fi people probably immediately recognized the art,
Was Mobius ever in any other cartoon?
I don't know. This is the only time I can think of seeing it animated. I'm sure he had to have done other stuff. I mostly know him through Heavy Metal Magazine, all those old issues of that. And his strips were always the ones that got me hyped up the most because he could, just tell a story with his art without even needing any text,
Okay. But ultimately, we get to a Star Wars cantina scene, which I thought was pretty cool because it had Harvey Korman who came into the thing, and we got B. Arthur with some longer hair that we're normally used to seeing her as one of the Golden Girls on television.
Oh yeah, B. Arthur fits in real good. Actually, I think we touched on that a bit in the main group discussion. Like, she's not out of place in a Star Wars setting. I could see her as being like kind of a hard-assed cantina owner. She's, B. Arthur's not to be messed around with.
What did you think about that cantina scene, Tammy? I know that you had something to say about that at one while we were watching it.
I thought that she fit in really good because she's got just the right attitude, and she's always had that little bit of a lower, like, raspier voice. So she just, when she's singing and everything, it fits in, and then she's got that, no nonsense attitude,
Boris, what did you think about all these like little segues of segments and the animation and the cantina scene that we're speaking about?
Well, my main issue with them would be that most of them are not very much Star Wars like, but aside from that, well, they were kind of cool. In the cantina scene, I liked that we got to see a lot of these aliens, all these different species, which I'm not sure if we saw all of them in the first movie,
What alien
or
is
if
Beyonce
they
then?
Well,
added some new ones.
some of it was regurgitated footage from the movie, but some of it was added.
What species is
Well,
Beyonce?
She's Femalian.
She's a stone cold fox, is what she is.
I've never been a huge fan.
She's Femalian. Anyways.
Hell yeah.
But she's old school Femalian.
We're gonna have to talk about those one day.
I personally like the Jefferson Airship music video.
Yeah.
But I really like the woman, the Carol. What I don't remember her name either. But I mean, she seemed familiar. But yeah, I didn't know who she was. But I don't know. She kind of reminded me of someone like a little bit like Whitney Houston. A little darker though. But yeah, it was just. I like that part. It was just kind of I kind of felt like watching it now that she was gonna strip her anyone, or at least in my mind, it really felt like I was watching something dirty, even though there was nothing dirty going on. It was really well done. It definitely made me feel, like I said, I think what it was supposed to.
Yeah, you're in the same boat as old Itchy there.
Oh yeah, he was definitely into that. It's cool how they had like it was like a VR long before they ever had a VR.
Yeah, the song that you were talking about was with Diane Carroll. The song is
Diane.
Diane.
I don't want Han to die.
Deanne Carroll, but it's spelled like this: Diahann Carroll. But it was written by Mitzi Welch and Ken Welch. And then the next song was "Light the Sky on Fire," which was written by Craig Chaquico and performed by Jefferson Starship. The next song was actually put together by Mitzi Welch and Ken Welch. and it was Good Night But Not Goodbye, which was performed by B. Arthur. So both the song that the lady sang and B. Arthur sang were written by the same people.
I like how you said the lady and B. Arthur.
Well, I'm not quite sure who she is, and I think it might. Okay, so she was one of television premieres African American series stars, elegant actresses, singers, and let's see what she is. She was in. Okay, so she was in something. Oh, she was in Grey's Anatomy for a couple of episodes.
Nice.
Just seeing if there's okay. She was in Disney's Legend of Tarzan for a little bit. Let's see. Trying to go backwards a little bit because she seems like she was she was on A Different World, so she was a soap opera star somewhat.
Different World is in a soap opera.
Oh God, she's okay. So she was
it
in
was-
Carmen
It
Jones
was a
back in the day.
sitcom. It was a sitcom.
But I guess she was mostly known for a TV series from 1968 to about 71 called Julie.
What is it called?
It was called Julia. She played a woman named Julia Baker.
Okay.
But
Not heard of it.
I guess she was in a TV movie called Death Scream, and a movie in 1974 called Claudine. But I get, she was on Dynasty for about 75 episodes as Dominique Devereaux.
Not a bad run.
A Different World. She was on 9 episodes as Marion Gilbert. Other than that, she played in a later Perry Mason mystery. One of the.
Never watched Perry Mason movies, but
I haven't watched any of the later stuff.
watch
but I watched a lot of the original show.
I did watch A Different World, so.
But other than that, that's pretty much what she's been in. Oh, she was in Eve's Bayou as Elzara.
I'll never forget A Different World because the front, I can't remember his name, but the dude who always wore the glasses that were sunglasses too, they flipped up and stuff. I always wanted those. I'm like, when I got glasses, I actually asked if they had those because I was like, one of the ones with sunglasses, but they were too expensive.
Oh, I guess she did. It was because I guess Riff Tracks.
Yeah, of course.
I did. I guess they did something on the Star Wars special, and I guess she was on that with them. I guess.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
In 2007, so that's kind of neat. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Music wise. Okay, so Han Solo and Chewbacca eventually make their way to. What do you think about their entrance in the whole special episode after they get there?
It's pretty neat. I imagine Harrison Ford probably would have rather been anywhere else, but that's kind of Harrison Ford.
Well, yeah, because they have to dispatch these stormtroopers that are in front of the place. Correct.
I need to mention one little fact that I think is really interesting. When I watched this on YouTube, I believe it was, and someone had this. I don't know how they got it, but it was an original copy right from the TV, because there was actually at the very beginning you could see it show that the Incredible Hulk and Wonder Woman will not be on tonight due to the Star Wars Christmas special. So it was on it came on during the time this Wonder Woman and Incredible Hulk TV shows were both on TV. And they missed their episodes that week for this special. I think that was interesting, and that's how I knew it was CBS because it actually said CBS those two shows which were on CBS.
Okay, I guess we're getting a Star Wars question, not necessarily a holiday question, but a specific Star Wars question from someone from the audience. Crow, maybe you can answer this one. Do the events in what is it?
7 through 9.
7 through 9 negate Vader's sacrifice in 6?
I don't think so. I mean, see, in the books, Emperor came back, and no one ever had a problem with that. Who read the books? People love the book, and even I hear people who've read the books, and then they go and they complain about him being in the movie, and it's the same thing. You gotta remember that he's a very powerful dark side, so of course he's gonna have plans in case of his demise to be able to come back. I mean, Exar Khan lived thousands of years as like kind of like a specter or something, you know. So I don't think it ruined it at all. That's my opinion. I heard a lot of people say it did, but I don't think so. I don't think it did. I mean, because Vader still destroyed that emperor, and for a long time it helped bring peace to the galaxy, or for a while anyways, at least from the Empire. So I mean, so he did do a great thing, and he did redeem himself somewhat. I mean, I don't think completely, but he did save his son, and he did sacrifice himself to take the emperor out. And all that happened, and they didn't have the emperor breathing down their necks for a very long time, so that was a good thing. In the books, he came back way sooner. So I think it makes Vader's sacrifice even more better in the movies than in the books, because they didn't have to deal with the emperor for a very long time.
Okay, well, thank you for that question, Whisper. Hopefully you can come back and check us out whenever we go on about certain things. We're more than welcome to answer your questions in any case.
Especially Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. But if anyone is watching our discussions, I applaud people for asking questions about certain things so that we can answer them while we're live here. So, but
of course.
Going into the final scenes with Carrie Fisher and her song, what did we think about her actually singing this last song here?
Well, that was rather nice, I must say.
I guess it's called A Day to Celebrate, which is also by the Welches. So I guess the this Mitzi Welch and Ken Welch.
For a lot of people.
I guess this Mitzi Welch and Ken Welch are responsible for many of the songs dealing with this special, and I guess they're connected to Disney. I guess, and the Carol Burnett show. I guess they were composers for a lot of the musical numbers on the Carol Burnett show.
Nice.
And a little bit of Gomer Pyle, the Jim Neighbors Hour, Duke Ellington. They did some of the music material for the Olivia Newton-John special that was on in 1976.
Oh, I had such a crush on her.
Interesting.
They did something for the Carpenters television special in 76, and they did something for 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, which was a special. So they've done some specials before. Oh, and I guess they did the Hanna-Barbera Happy Hour a couple of times.
Oh, nice.
So,
Barbara.
but
Hanna-Barbera, actually.
But they worked on the Magical World of Disney in the 80s on one episode. I guess the 15th anniversary celebration. They were the music arranger for that. and they worked with with NBC on their All-Star Hour in '85. So
Yeah, it kind of seems like everybody involved in this had fairly storied careers, you know? A lot of heavy hitting people in their own lanes, you know?
I was just curious because these Welches were, involved in like the three main songs, except for, yeah, it was Starship's song
Yeah.
that was. So, yeah, both Princess Leia's song, Bee's song, but actually, Jefferson Starship was the only oddball out. That was the only one that wasn't done by the Welches. So, but sorry. I think what we should do is talk about the production. Was the production really there?
I mean, it's for what it is. It's got pretty good production value, you know.
I think in the beginning with them in the Falcon and the shift stuff, that felt the most like Star Wars and the whole thing, So that production was done well. Other than that, well,
Well,
it all kind of feels like an episode of Alf, just the way everything looks, you know. Like it's got that very sitcom vibe to it, which makes sense for what it is, you know.
Well, I guess we could say that they're going to the planet of Merrimack instead, and we're just meeting elves like siblings and mother and father,
Yeah, I think this was before Melmac exploded, so it's possible.
well,
he could very much be related to the Wookiees. Except I think he was a combination between E.T. and Wookiees put together.
I can see that.
If E.T.
Overall, I think, like I said, for what it is, it's got pretty good sets and everything.
Cats instead of M&M, instead of Reese's feces.
Right.
So you say that Alf likes eating pussy?
Hey,
pussy cat.
Well, in any case, we'll just put Elf around your cat if you have one. We'll rearrange him like Galaxy Quest and make sure that he shows up at your home.
Hell yeah, I'd hang out with him.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if you can hear me right now, but I'm having really bad audio glitches, probably because of my internet connection.
Yeah, we hear you now.
Yeah, we hear you.
We'll miss you, Boris.
He'll come back.
Yeah, he'll be
But
back.
I feel like the production was very strong in the beginning. I thought the setup of the next the next segue with the Junker that was his place was okay. Can you hear us?
Yes, now I can. Let's hope it stays that way. It's a technical issue on my end. I'm sorry.
Well, when you're here, we can definitely hear you. So it might be something on your end. But I was saying that I thought the beginning was fairly cool. I thought the Art 2 recordings could have been better.
Much better. Yeah,
I think they should have actually had Ken there.
Kenny Baker should have definitely been there.
Instead of if he was there, just not going through the motions,
I think it would have been nice to know what the Wookiees were saying.
I think so too.
Yeah, we need one of those. We need Rumpy to make us one of those transmitters.
Well,
I think for this one, yes, I think we might have needed the subtitles to understand what the whole family was saying, and I think it was okay to have Chewbacca not be understood on Star Wars, the movies, because you kind of got what he was saying, because it was kind of hilarious, because you knew that he was probably swearing up a shitstorm to Han.
Right.
You know, he was
Yeah.
probably telling Han his butt whistled all the time, you know, so. But in any case, yeah, other than that, I just really thought some of these things were phoned in, like Luke's thing. I wish that he would have actually been able to actually be there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And-
kind of like the 70s equivalent of recording your part by Zoom, you know? Like he just literally did phone it in.
Well, yeah, I mean that's basically what they did is they probably set something up in Luke's garage, and he had R2D2 sitting right there, and then they had pre-recorded R2 sounds playing for R2, and I'm sorry, but that just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
It is jarring.
I agree. It did not feel.
But
it
I
did not
thought
feel like R2.
But I thought the animation was different. I may not have liked it as much as you guys did, but I thought it was one of the better things that I've seen. I mean, I've seen a lot of things, and it reminds me of like a lot of like the Lord of the Rankin Bass Lord of the Rings type stuff that I used to watch, and it's up there. You know,
Yeah, a little bit of
It's-
Ralph
it's
Bakshi
definitely-
almost too, kind of like a Wizards vibe a little bit.
It's
Mhm.
definitely better than Resistance.
I haven't seen Resistance. Is that
Don't
good?
bother.
Yeah, that's obviously the animation segment is my favorite, but if I had to pick one outside of that, it would definitely be like the Jefferson Airplane segment or
Yeah,
Jefferson Starship, excuse me.
I'd pick that. I still
Oh,
Dion.
you're talking about
Dion
favorites.
Carroll. Yeah, I'd still pick Dion Carroll or Dahan Carroll, whatever. Yeah, I'd still pick that scene. I don't know. It was just really.
I like the
it-
cantina
it- it-
scene.
It felt like a dirty scene, even though it wasn't a dirty scene. You know, it just I don't know. I just really liked it. It really felt immersive, and she had a really nice voice, and she just looked really good. Like I said, it just felt like it was something dirty, but it wasn't.
I have two favorite scenes. If I had to choose, my two would probably be B. Arthur's a whole scene with the cantina, and I loved that scene with Lumpy where his mother told him not to eat the cookies, and he took one anyways.
That kid needs to get it. He needs a whooping. I mean a whooping.
Tammy, if you could take a favorite scene from this special, what would it be?
I like the end where they're all
The credits.
celebrating and the where she's singing and they're all together. I thought that was really magical. Like
That is nice.
that, and then of course they do like the B. Arthur, the cantina.
I'm also a big fan of the little known late night holiday special they did with B called B in the Buff. Oh.
Oh,
Boris,
I threw up my mouth.
if there was a favorite scene from this special that you have watched, what would it be?
Well, maybe it would either be the animation or the final confrontation when Han Solo and Chewbacca arrived, when we actually got to see some action.
Oh, I bet you got
Either one of
action.
those, I
You
guess.
did it.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said I bet Chewie got some action. Giggity.
Well, yeah, dude, he's got to get his life day present.
Yeah. While they're in the buff.
You got a favorite song, Boris?
Favorite song? Well, it's been a week since I watched this, so I don't remember it very vividly, but I think I liked the song by that woman who...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
B.
Carol.
Arthur.
I don't know her name, the one who was speaking seductive stuff to Witchy,
Okay.
if I
Okay.
remember
Dion
correctly.
Carroll.
Okay, that's Dion Carroll.
Yeah, you like the same one as me.
Yeah.
Good taste.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
But if this special were ever to be redone with like newer Star Wars,
You can play
characters.
Chewbacca.
Well, no, I'm not part of the Star Wars universe, though.
Yeah.
We can submit you.
Well, if you think you can submit me, I guess I will try, and I'll
I'll
try my
submit you on.
damnedest.
I think just for Crawl.
As long as I can go in my birthday suit.
Yeah, dude, I don't mind. I think just out there looking like Phil from Hercules, furry little bones. If they ever do redo this, I think just for Crawl, they should do it in the Gun City and have it about some type of Gun holiday.
As long as the special and the present to us is Judge is dead, I agree.
But then he's reborn stronger than before, you know?
No.
Yeah.
No reborn for Jaja.
I like Jaja.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Well, you know how I said he has great taste? I can't say the same for you. Sorry. I just absolutely hate Jaja, so yeah.
I don't entirely hate him.
I actually never hated him that much. Okay, it's not like he's my top favorite character, but I have always found him okay. I never hated him as much as many people apparently do.
Well, in any case, I think we have discussed this enough, unless there's anything else that anyone wanted to add about this particular film. But I'm glad that we were able to get on and discuss it. I thought we had a lot of fun.
Say about it is there was no Jaja. Of course, it was long before he was ever invented. Thank goodness. But yeah.
I think we need Jar Jar in the next Christmas special.
Yeah, for sure.
I won't be watching it.
Here's the thing, Carl. If I've got to play Chewbacca, you're playing him.
Oh yeah, I'm about to.
That is not happening.
Well,
honestly, it would be.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, that is the sound for the end of our time period. But thank you for joining us on this special life day for Chewbacca's family. And hopefully you enjoyed our discussion on this film and have a very wonderful rest of your holidays. And check us out. After the Christmas holiday, we're going to come back, and I think we're going to go on about 8-Bit Christmas. Nice. Just for something new, since it's relatively, it's one that was recent and it's current, and I figured, what the hell. So in any case,
what movie did you say?
8-Bit Christmas.
Oh, 8-Bit Christmas.
I figured, what the hell. January is still kind of like the still Christmas holiday, and I because of being sick, some of us haven't been able to get on to talk about some holiday films on discuss Delusions of Grandeur. So come back after the holidays and join us for some more festivities, and I'm sure we'll have a blast. So let's say good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
What?
Boris.
Wait, good night? It's not. It's only. It's
Yay.
day.
Mm.
Hoot hoot.
Hoot hoot.
Hoot, hoot.
Caca.
God's like John.